Hello there, and welcome to another Villa Varakino Twitch stream here playing SWTOR. We love to do these spoiler chat streams after watching the most recent Star Wars episode, which of course this week was Andor.
We're going to be running through one of the regular events in Star Wars: The Old Republic, a Rakghoul event, which is basically, for those not familiar with the game, a zombie scenario. It's a novel bit of content that only crops up every now and then in a cyclical manner, so we like doing this sort of content when it comes around in rotation. I think they've put it in, didn't overlap with Halloween, but I think they put it in around this time to sort of coincide with approximately Halloween.
Yeah.
So on the planet Alderaan, usually in most places, but currently overrun by zombies in the populated areas and underground tunnels.
Yeah, Rakghouls track back in the comics, and for those of you that are very big fans of Knights of the Old Republic, you will remember Rakghouls sort of on the planet of Taris on the lower levels. You can certainly find them on the planet of Taris in this game as well, but every so often there's kind of a galactic plague outbreak, and then we have to sort of go deal with it on a number of different planets, and this week it's on Alderaan. So yeah, you have a bit of a spooky season event while we chat about the most recent episode of Andor. Keeping on theme, we decided to play our Imperial agents. They're both snipers that we're going to be playing today, so we're playing on the Empire side. Given the most recent episode of Andor, thought that was a good fit. So I guess we're going to jump in and start chatting as we run through some of the dailies.
That's right, yeah. So this is, as you say, cyclical content, so it's not one that we play quite as often as some of the daily heroic areas. So we'll be perhaps just talking every now and then to coordinate. We can't quite do it on autopilot like we can some of the other content. See how we go there. So we're just heading off in that direction. So this episode of Andor was essentially the second chapter in what's going to be a 3-episode story arc. So lots of tension, not a lot of resolution. Another on the edge of your seat the entire episode situation. Quite a bit of anxiety in the household, wondering what was going to be happening on the prison planet with Cassian's crew. Interesting developments all around.
Yeah, it's pretty good about giving us sort of this high level tension. We don't really know what's going to happen. And it always sort of keeps me on the edge of my seat, never sure when something's going to happen, particularly in those scenes with Andor and his fellow sort of inmates.
I think of this cutscene, start this installment of the event.
Oh no, I'm infected.
Oh dear,
that's
why you dropped out of conversation.
Yes, yeah, I don't have my backpack with me.
No, they've changed it. They've changed the way.
Yeah.
Okay, we might just need to take a quick second because that will slow us down.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my house and grab my.
Okay, so what we're talking about here is you used to be able to protect against getting infected by equipping and unequipping a specific piece of gear. Now they've changed it that you have to keep it equipped full time to not get infected yourself. And the downside to getting infected is that your character randomly goes into effectively coughing fits, and it interrupts whatever else you are, whatever you're doing at the time, whether that be fighting or in a conversation. So we'll just sort that out quickly.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, so we can talk about Andor sort of, I guess, chronologically or top down. I think if we take a top down approach, the biggest revelation is this notion that there's essentially no escape from the prison planet. Although they've been sentenced to prison labor for specified amounts of time, it transpires that they find out pretty close to the end, and this is really going to set a lot of things in motion. It transpires that no one truly escapes. They just get moved to different levels. Zones.
Yeah.
I think that was the sort of biggest critical plot development. I think there's a lot of, I find that I'm having to concentrate quite a lot to really sort of digest and unpack what's happening as it goes along. That piece was pretty clear cut though. There's a few more subtle things going on in Andor's timeline, Andor's story arc. But we also saw a little bit of the development of Mon Mothma's story arc as her path crosses with Val, who transpires as her cousin.
Yeah, I thought that was fun.
And we also saw more of Deidre Mira, the ISB supervisor, interacting with Cyril Khan, but also with Rex Colleen back on Ferrix. Didn't see Ethan Rowell this time around.
Yeah.
So he's busy. Last time I saw him, he was talking to Forrest Whitaker, to Saul Guerrera, which is very cool.
Yes.
But we'll see where that goes, hopefully next time. So this was episode 9, as I say, the second of a 3-episode bundle, and then we have 2 episodes completing the season. Okay, where are you up to? You're at the
I'm at
conversation point? Great.
Yes.
Sorry, I just got attacked on my way in, so it took me a shade
Oh,
longer.
okay. I just quick traveled straight back down, so it put me here.
Yeah. That was clever.
Okay, so before we do that, we're gonna find the people to go help inoculate infected citizens. I can see one across the way.
Looks like Mon Mothma's having some interesting challenges. Financial funding of the rebellion troubles. She's got a Chandrilan banker friend, Tay, if I remember correctly, to try and help out, but that looks like it's going to get into a bit of a shady territory, which is an interesting development. It's showing that it's really getting quite complicated for her, that the whole setting up the rebellion is so very far from a straightforward enterprise.
Yeah.
They also showed the futility of the ongoing efforts to actually effect change through the actual Senate. It's just become a dead end for her, and it's just going to give her momentum in terms of having to resort to the Republic back channels.
Yeah, I guess she's I guess she's gonna find that she's gonna have to sort of utilize some underworld contacts to sort of dodge around the Empire. Oh, I got flung.
Yeah.
But at the same time knowing that they could potentially expose her to the Empire. There's going to be a plague. Ooh, you got it. I didn't get to roll on that.
Right.
There we go. Volzang, why are you got to click your thing?
Yes, and yeah, I equipped it.
Yeah, and then you got to click it again.
Yeah.
There you go.
Easy
I
fix
kept,
once it's
yeah,
equipped.
I kept mine on. Okay, so now we've done that one. I'm going to go back to the tent, which I think is this way. Yep.
So that's the essence of Mon Mothma's story arc, but yeah, like I say, having Val show up there was a little bit interesting.
Hi David, he says, good evening everyone. That was a disturbing episode, I thought.
There's certainly a way to describe it. I mean, yeah, the torture scenes, the euthanasia scenes. It was
sort of really showing us just how in peril everyone is in the sort of time of the Empire. We're seeing just sort of the stakes. Like I thought that was I thought it was kind of interesting the way that or that we don't hear any audio from the sort of apparent torture method.
Oh yeah.
That it is some sort of audio that just drives people crazy. I thought that was kind of
mysterious from our point of view.
Yeah. An interesting way of conveying torture without it being too sort of brutal or confronting or triggering for young people.
Chilling in the way that it's delivered, because the guy that's administering it is very blasé about it.
Yeah, he seems more sort of fascinated by the science of it. Yeah.
Yeah, just very much a tool. Both of them, in fact, Mira as well said it was interesting.
Yeah. And we're getting a sense now of just how sort of ruthless she is. She's not just an office worker, somebody that's just dealing with reports and paperwork. We're seeing that she's
very much an intelligence officer.
At the end, she said something about like, I'll interrogate remotely. You know, like she's not at all worried about.
Well, that was almost what she was talking about there was almost. And it was a new thread. I don't know how directly it's related to the current story, other than the developments, other than progression of the rebellion. But yes, they were talking about the whole OSB was talking about scuttling the ship, the rebel ship, basically, in order to not to hide their involvement.
Yeah.
Effectively, I guess. So yeah, they're very much Black Ops sort of.
And interesting that they knew about the radio. They knew everything about Bix's communications with Luthen Rail. So Luthen's associate was correct in sort of basically pressuring him to shut it down.
Yes. Yes,
because the Empire knows now. It's a direct connection.
Just out and chat that Mon Mothma was about to become heavily involved with potentially a crime lord, or at least a business person of dubious morals.
Well, it'll be really interesting. Like, I want to see this character, I've got to say. Like, she seems like really reluctant to sort of do business or get involved with them, but now I'm intrigued. I wanna see this character. I wanna know what's going on. Yeah. And then of course sort of the main thread line of Andor in the prison. The way that the older guy Olaf, I can't remember
so
how they pronounce his name.
Left. And all this, it showed everyone rallying together to support him, knowing or believing that he was going to be going free. That kind of, I think that was an interesting part of the story, because it necessarily increased the impact of the realization that no one goes free when you've done your time.
Yeah. That was definitely going to be our turning point for Andy Serkis's character. Yeah. Because that's his whole thing, is just kind of, stay the course, you do your time, and then you get out.
He wanted to just help his crew get through as well, but he now knows that that's going nowhere.
Yeah. Okay. That playing by their rules doesn't actually end well for you. I kept waiting for something to happen to him while they were sort of working on the line. I was like, oh, he's gonna get his hand caught or something like that. I was just kept waiting for something bad to happen.
They knew that would induce anxiety, but I also guess they knew that would be almost too predictable, too straightforward. The way they played it actually was a shade more subtle and a shade more complex, and
it gave them an opportunity to kind of deal with it away from prying eyes and crowds. That if it happened on the floor or something like that, then the doctor wouldn't have had the opportunity to kind of tell them about what happened.
Yeah, and so the point that made it clear that Andy Serkis was becoming more aligned with Cassian was the fact that he revealed his knowledge about the guards. The guard shifts, the maximum number of guards on shift at any time, and right at the end as they were leaving the scene of the.
David says, Cyril is kind of weird. The way he approached Deirdre had me a bit baffled. Why was she so against him? I don't know how the Empire feels against sort of like, I don't know whether he is just very enamored with her or whether he is like romantically sort of drawn to her.
Or if he's playing some more less subtle game. More subtle game rather. Yeah, not quite sure where that was going. It was a little bit unexpected in terms of the way it played out.
Yeah, she was being very threatening towards him, so I don't know if she is also drawn to him or whether she is repulsed by him.
I don't think she has any interest. I think she sees him as a tool, as a lesser.
She's completely career focused. We don't really know in this sort of reality, this timeline, how. Considering how sort of to the course she is, I don't think she would let something like a romantic interest jeopardize her career. But we don't know if that would necessarily be against the rules of the Empire.
Doesn't feel consistent with the way everything's playing out just at the moment, though, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if they took that angle. That's why it caught me off guard. I thought he had things that he was a bit more single-minded in terms of his motivation, but obviously can be wrong. So it almost makes me wonder that he isn't trying. I don't know. He may just straight up be grateful that her actions, her aligned goals, is helping his problem.
I think you have to scan in here.
Okay.
It doesn't seem to have shown up as you have completed that one.
It's odd, so I might have to do it independently.
Yeah. But yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Those scenes, how aggressive she was against him and what his game plan was. That he's essentially stalking her. Because I wasn't sure initially when he told his mother that he had been promoted. I wasn't sure if that was just like a bluff to like get him off his case.
Yeah,
she sort of seemed to be.
Truth,
yeah.
I mentioned that to Deirdre as well.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's the guy.
Oh. Don't know if I'm game. Not on this one. I can't heal with the sniper.
No, there's a few more other people going for him.
What's that?
There'd been a few more other people going for him.
Yeah. He's also it's not really moving. Which is interesting.
What's that? He's just scrounging around a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm still hoping when they do those Senate scenes that we'll see some more recognisable representatives.
I keep looking around wondering if we'll see somebody that we recognise. And it's always so sad the way that she's kind of giving her impassioned speeches and everyone's just sort of turning off their little Senate podiums and just sort of ignoring her. She's the only one still daring to speak out against Palpatine's policies.
Yeah, well, we know that by the time I think we hope that the Senate's basically dissolved.
Yeah. But at this point, people are just using it as a position of privilege, not actually trying to affect any kind of change or go against Palpatine's wishes. Yeah, I gotta say the development with Cyril Khan's definitely got me very intrigued. I mean, I find him a really interesting character, so I was always curious to see where they were going to take his character after his effective firing, so... Okay. This definitely feels like it's the same sort of pacing, cadence of storytelling as the Aldani episodes. There's sort of the tension with his fellow sort of rebels, and then something big is going to go down.
Yeah. Which can't wait for. We did mention when we were watching this. It's kind of funny the way that ISP's putting together the information about Andor that I realised because he's used a false name that actually effectively have him in custody.
Yeah, well, I was wondering if they were actually going to bring up like some sort of artist rendering or something like that when they said that, when they've actually pieced together the fact that he was involved in Alderaan, when they said that they were clean shaven and you know that they've sort of figured it out. But at least for the time being, they are leaving the mother alone. I was kind of relieved to hear that.
Yes, that's right. We didn't see anything of her this time around either.
Sorry, the things in the ceiling above me.
Okay.
Did you get that?
I did.
Okay. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a very exciting episode next week because there's gonna have to be an uprising, a prison break, sort of a innate revolution.
The story's not going to expand too much, I don't think, next week beyond the sort of story arcs that will be taking place. But sort of related to that, I wonder if we'll see more Saw Gerrera or if that was just a bit of a cameo.
He didn't say the line, or at least not to my knowledge, that we hear him in the trailer. It was like, let's call it what it is, war, or something like that. I know that not every clip from trailers makes it into the final edit, but I was kind of hoping that we might see that one. We're doing different groups.
So, I mean, and on that note, we may just see Saw Gerrera in a conversational scene, but I'd like to see him and his rebel cell do something a little more active.
Yeah.
Get a feel for that.
If they're going to be involved in the final episode, whatever that happens to be.
Yeah.
That would be quite cool. Oh, my droid keeps standing on these things.
That's a nice 3 out of 5 for more. 2 out of 5. So what else do we notice during this episode? That when ISB was talking about, I didn't quite pick up all the details. They're talking about what was effectively a rebel ship.
Yeah, that was using a stolen sort of
equipment.
Imperial ID of some sort.
Yeah, they did make reference to Kafrene.
Yeah.
Which is where Andor is at the start of Rogue One. I see a couple of the actors have been speaking over the past week to the media. Denise Guff, that plays Deidre, spoke. Can't remember what the output was, but yeah, she said that it was interesting playing a character who was designed initially for you to sympathise with, seeing her sort of struggle to be recognised amongst as a sort of newcomer to the ISB, relatively speaking. But,
she's also a woman and amongst sort of the
one of few, yes.
The older guys.
And she also acknowledged that, by the end of it, you're not supposed to be rooting for her. You can see that Empire is.
Yeah, she's very ruthless in this one. You see the lengths it will take, that she's willing to go to get information to do her job.
Yeah, so...
Did you get the binoculars? It's just pointing over this way.
Instruction. Okay. Yep, it's here. So yeah, just a little chat again. Yeah, we're fully expecting the jailbreak to take place next week. That's almost a certainty, and that's really going to have to accelerate the plot in terms of rebel activity and rebel networking. I think we'll have 2 episodes left to tie everything together after that point.
Yeah, which makes me wonder if we will see like how many threads will be brought together.
This episode, though, I mean, each episode you want more, which makes me fear slightly for the end of the season. Because we're going to want, it's going to be a little wait before we see that. Before we see season 2.
Yeah.
I know we've got other things to distract us with, but yeah, I don't know. It's a great series. I'm really invested in seeing where all the characters and all the threads go.
I know it's almost like spoiled, but I kind of wish we didn't have to like have gaps between series of different things. You know, it'd be like Andor, then we roll into, you know, Mandalorian and all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, back in the day, we had 3 years between Star Wars. It's kind of funny to think back. It wasn't that long ago that we thought we'd have no Star Wars.
Yeah.
I guess it's just so exciting to have such good episodes of Star Wars to look forward to every week. I think the tunnel's right above me. Yeah.
Yes, it is. I've just started scanning it.
Oh, sorry.
You might need to come back a shade to get alignment.
Yep.
I wonder if we get any more material from this team. It's obviously a very different feel from the Mandoverse, but I think I've said a few times before, I don't mind that. I like the different styles of storytelling. Certainly wouldn't, I know it's in addition to Andor season 2, I certainly wouldn't mind more Andorverse style storytelling.
Yeah. Yes, very much enjoying this vibe. It's not sort of action every week, but I'm really enjoying this sort of the tension and the build up.
Certainly the last couple of episodes, it's really felt like a lot has happened.
Did you get that one?
Yeah, I got the scanner, yes.
Okay.
I'm too busy down here. It's just that one person was flying a similar kinds to us.
Yeah.
So yeah, probably should have taken on the big boss.
That's okay.
Not staying on the big boss.
I haven't actually seen it walking around. Do you think somebody took it on?
Nah, I don't know what path it would have been walking, but I'd be surprised it doesn't feel like. We probably were off actually. Possibly still watching. Well, here we go, there's a few.
Yeah, people doing the 4v groups. Tilvick's over here.
Yep.
And quick travel back.
Try to go back to all the activate operations hub.
this is definitely one of the episodes where I feel like it makes me more excited for next week than this one. But that's okay. Very excited to see how next week's episode is going to pan out with the sort of the leading up to a jailbreak. I want Andy Serkis's character to survive.
Yep.
Are you doing the cutscene?
No, I'm trying to. There we go.
Okay. Okay, yes, this one's done.
Those two conversation points overlap in the wrong direction. Yeah, okay, well, that's pretty much it for down here in these tunnels. What was what we were talking about just there?
Yeah, we can go do Balsavas if you want.
Yeah.
Or a quick circa.
Possibly let's step something just a shade short.
Circa? Okay. Yep.
These are not our strongest characters, so we won't blitz through it quite at the
Yeah, that's true.
breakdown pace we sometimes do.
Some more fabulous outfits from Mon Mothma and her family. I do love the design of her apartment.
It's crazy. I'm really finding it hard to distinguish what's a physical set and what's a CG enhanced set.
Yeah.
Like,
There were some moments. Sorry.
I can't imagine that the ISB sort of meeting chamber is a physical set. The geometry of the ceiling is just insanely complex, but Mon Mothma's apartment, that looks real, doesn't it?
Yeah, it looks like a huge set. Reminds me of this size and scope of Padme's Coruscant apartment in episode 3, the one with the big veranda, where she talks with Anakin and then later Obi-Wan. There were some moments where Mon Mothma's kind of I can't remember who she was seeing out, and she's kind of standing in the doorway by herself, and it was just this gorgeous shot where she's sort of surrounded by this sort of Coruscant splendor, and she just looks terribly sad and alone. You just sort of realize the life that she must have led leading up to where we see her in Return of the Jedi. The sort of the personal sacrifices she's made for the rebel cause for the better part of her sort of life is sort of quite telling in those quieter moments.
Yeah, it is impactful. It does change the way we see other content. We presume that she was always just these rebel leaders around the time of A New Hope, they were always just rebel leaders that they it always felt like at the time of A New Hope the rebellion had always existed. Obviously it couldn't have. It had to have some sort of start coinciding with the tyranny of the Empire. But it's very real to show that it was not an easy path.
There's a very much us and them attitude with her husband and daughter. I do wonder if we will see some sort of severing of that family unit before the end of the series, either in this first season or the second season.
Well, at some point Mon Mothma's going to have to play a hand and go full-time rebel. Sticking around with them is not going to be.
Because we know that she's with them for Rogue One.
They were just making a connection between Boudra and Isard from the novels. Very, very efficient and career-driven Imperial. Which is fun. That's always been a staple of the EU, is interesting Imperial leaders beyond just the obvious Tarkin and Vader and
Yeah.
And so forth. There's always been a good few.
I really like her as a character.
Yeah.
As a villain, because she's obviously quite brutal, but yeah, really curious to see. And I guess that would be interesting because we don't know at this point how many of these characters have been designed for the longer arcs.
Yeah, I was just thinking that.
Or whether, we will see, some meet their demise or...
Exactly, whether they'll be short-lived or whether their stories will be parked for now and revisited later. Or...
Yeah. Oh, I got 2 bung ones. Oh, I forgot to check to see what you pick up.
I seem to pick up quite a few things on this character because he's not one of my earliest things. So I did see people up to scavenge all sorts of interesting things. Do you get that by analysis? Yeah, you do.
Yep. I pick up everything but crystals on this girl.
Since we spoke last week, since we streamed last week, I've super fun limit on these characters. It was great to get a Bowman Monk pet / companion in this game as part of sort of a Halloween celebration. It's like a slightly shrunk down.
Quite big. Spiky droid.
Oh,
the brain doesn't show in the preview because it's a bit too animated, but yeah, it's the whole brain in a jar.
We unlocked them initially in different characters, so it counts. But when I saw the conversation on Reddit, in the SWTOR section of Reddit, it really did remind me of how much of a multi-generational franchise Star Wars is, because there's a lot of relative newcomers to the franchise that aren't familiar with the Bowman Knights and their lore in Jedi. A lot of people did not know what the character was. And not that it's a snipe at them or anything, because it's the things we're not experts about, but yeah, like I said, it just really struck me, reminded me that there's so much a multi-generational thing. There's people coming in new to this game, new to this franchise.
I think it certainly helped if you're a collector, because they were such a cool action figure.
Bowman Knights?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They always stood out to me. Yeah, I'm one of those. There's a few of the sort of the background creatures and aliens from the Cantina and Jabba's Palace and stuff like that, that if you had them as figures, it really helped to sort of cement them in your mind.
Well, it's kind of funny, just going off on a bit of a tangent here. There are some characters released. I mean, Snaggletooth has got all sorts of stories associated with him, in terms of the blue version, the red version, and so forth. But one of the mildly interesting thing about him is that for a very long portion of time, once the media left the theatres, the only versions available on TV were sort of Panner scan versions, and Snaggletooth was cut almost completely out of those.
Mm.
So yeah, there's a few background characters that we really did come to know because of their stories rather than on-screen impact. got what we need in terms of head count. So just head to the downstairs area. Looking forward to a few more toys from Andor. A lot of the figures have been revealed. Not many in hand yet. We've got the Funko Pop. We've got B2. There's a Funko Pop as well. Andor and B2.
Yeah.
That's about it so far, isn't it? That we've got.
Yeah.
There's been a few products. Got a cool T-shirt with the Andor logo on it. Stormtroopers. But not many character representations just yet. You're finally getting well, not finally, but it's been a little bit ongoing. A few more Book of Boba Fett pops as well. It's quite a cool one just showing today of Grogu with the Rancor. Not sure what scale that will exactly be, because I'm sure Grogu is not standard pop sized. That would make the Rancor huge.
Yeah.
I think it's inside for this quest that we need to do separately, or repeat at least. This character a bit more. I do quite like the sniper class.
Yeah, it's one of those ones I never played right at the start. I played operative, but yeah, definitely do enjoy the snipers.
Yeah. You quite like the operative as well there.
Yeah. Quite a very different sort of storyline to some of the others. I like the fact that you don't you can't really I mean, I don't want to give spoilers. You can't really predict the way that the storyline's going to go. It's very well written. Did you get that?
Yeah, I did actually.
Okay, I did. I thought it was the Republic side. I want to go out and get Zerka 2.
Yeah, so we'll do that. Are you tracking it or are you just ballparking it?
No, just ballparking it. How did I not hit them at all? There we go, I've got Circa 2 now.
Pretty close.
Yeah, it's generally on there a couple after, if you get all the Womp Rats. How am I still missing? Oh, there.
Yeah, it's just a...
To get this beam over here.
Yeah. That wraps up that story requirement. I think we've hit most of the details that we would usually talk about.
Yeah.
And also, like,
one of those episodes where it wasn't big dramatic things. I think the most dramatic was kind of the revelation about the level 2 sort of mystery that everyone was sort of talking about, which is obviously going to drastically change Andy Serkis's character's sort of viewpoint about whether he would. He was sort of tolerating Andor's kind of questioning and sort of, but I think that's really going to change his viewpoint, because he's the most senior one there. He would know the most information.
He's going to be a big ally.
And I think he would need his kind of participation.
Yeah, I think he's going to make
to be successful.
In terms of, but actually, that just reminded me. I wasn't really clear what what Cassian was up to when he was in the bathroom cutting equipment behind the
yes, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that didn't pan out. So I don't know if that was something he was progressively doing or if something he was going to try and do specifically for that time, but got cut short because of the guards coming in. Yeah, but like I say, yeah, the turning point for Andy Serkis' character is going to really make.
But I want him to get out. I don't want him to.
Andy Serkis to leave with him.
Yeah, I don't want to see, like, you know that there's going to be a jailbreak. Not everyone's going to survive. But we know that Andor and Malshi is going to get out. But I kind of want Andy Serkis to get out as well. I don't want him to sort of sacrifice himself to get others out.
That's the thing, as I was saying before, I'm really nervous isn't the right word, but characters that we've encountered that we know don't feature in later material.
Yeah. It keeps the tension up. Like the Alderaan crew. We didn't know who was going to survive out of that, which made the sort of the twists and turns of that mission sort of kept me on the edge of the seat. That is a really long sniper rifle.
This one?
Yeah.
It's
it folds down nice.
Yeah.
Mine's the Tommy gun from the Tommy gun-esque one. Oh no, one of my other snipers has got the proper one where it's got the round barrel. This one's just got the lights in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gonna play on my iPad.
What's that? This guy's social ability is actually. I used to have them. Oh, it's just inspire loyalty.
Yeah.
I can't remember if that was that.
I am shrub.
On that note, though, I'll wrap this particular stream up.
Oh, you got one too. Pretending to be shrubs.
We'll talk again when Andor rolls around next week, of course, but we're very likely to stream again more between now and then. There's a few events in game that we'll be specifically playing, but if we do happen to stream randomly, we'll be talking what our Star Wars thoughts are going on for us at that point in time.
Yep. So a little bit of a quieter episode, a little bit of a quieter spoiler chat, but we still enjoy each and every episode and talking about all the details. Super excited for next week. I can feel like it's really building up to something. The stakes I feel a little bit higher for Andor this time. You know, last one, he was doing it for the money, helping out, and sort of like there was going to be perks for him. This one, it's like he has to get out, and and then it'll be really interesting to see where the storyline's going to go from there. I'm very keen to get to each and every episode, and then when we get to the end, watch the whole thing in one go and sort of see them all linked up and see how the story arcs will sort of play out. Thanks so much for joining us in chat. David says, have a good week till next time. May the Force be with you, and may the Force be with you too. Thanks for joining us, and we'll catch you next week, or in this week, I guess, if we're going to play some more SWTOR. As always, follow us here on Twitch and subscribe to us on YouTube to stay up with all of our Star Wars adventures. Catch you next time, and may the Force be with you.
Yeah, take it easy, everyone, and we'll see you next time.
If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a like, check out our other videos, and subscribe for alerts about new uploads. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.